Hello, Fearless Gamers, Matt here for Fearless Games, and welcome to another video review. How's it going, everybody? So today we're going to be doing a review of Vallejo's The Shifters color shifting paint series. This is the Space Dust pack. These are Vallejo's airbrush metallic color shifting paints, and depending on the light and the angle determines what kind of color that you'll see. I picked this up at my local Hobby Lobby for 20 bucks. I've never used these before. I was first introduced to the color shifters from Green Stuff World, but when I looked at a bunch of videos about the Green Stuff World ones, it looked like that they didn't really change shade that much, at least in the videos that I saw of people using them. So I was kind of turned off to the idea of them. But then I saw this in Hobby Lobby, and I decided, I know Vallejo Metallics get a lot of credit for being really good, so I decided to give it a shot. And so, in this set, you get all these color paints. We've got orange to violet, electric blue to intense violet, green to blue violet, brown gold to brown, gold, old gold to gray velvet, and red gold. They do have an agitator inside of them, which is different from a lot of the other Vallejo paints that I get. None of them actually ever came with agitators. I don't know if it's because they're the metallic colors or not, because again, I don't really do a lot of I don't go too crazy with metallic paints outside of GW. So that was a nice, interesting thing to see. I did notice, even though these three on the end, they actually are, pigmented. You can see that they are one of the colors here. But these three here, they seem to be all white. And I can't tell if they are bad or not, because I haven't tested all of the paints, but I gave them really good shakes, and that seems to just be how they are. And so Vallejo says that you don't need to dilute these at all, and if you're going to dilute them, you just use water, which I found to be very surprising, because I would assume they would want you to use the Vallejo thinner. So that kind of took me by surprise, but I decided to test them out, running it straight purely through an airbrush, as they said you could, and also diluting it to see if that made any difference. They also suggest priming the model with a gloss black. I didn't have any gloss black, so I just took my regular black paint, put a few drops of gloss varnish into the paint to kind of give me like a pseudo gloss black paint on there. And what I ended up doing let me just move these out of the way real quick, is I tested it on this miniature right here. This is something I 3D printed off Loot Studios, and as you can see, it does do a color shift. This is the old gold to gray velvet. Violet, sorry. And I don't really see an old gold. I get more of like a greenish, green to brown look, but still looks pretty solid. And it does as advertised. It actually does shift color depending on the angle and the lighting that it is on. And so I said it does work as advertised. It did go on really thin and smoothly. When I did it with the airbrush, and then I went and diluted the paint to see how well that worked. And again, it came off. no major issues. It wasn't like runny, it didn't give me any issues, it didn't dull the color or anything. Again, it flowed through nice and smooth. It was a little thinner, so it took a few extra coats to get it on when it was diluted, but as you can see, like, it worked just as advertised, and I was very impressed by this. As I dropped the miniature, thankfully it did not break, which is good because I don't have any more resin to print another one. So, all in all, I haven't given all the colors a shot, but I said this one is the one that I used on here. And again, it worked very well. I didn't have any issues with it running through the airbrush. I didn't have any issues of it sticking to the model or coating it. It worked just like any other airbrush paint I have tried on the Vallejo line, and Vallejo is, in my opinion, a really nice airbrush paint. I really enjoy it a lot. And surprisingly, there are quite a few colors in this list. So like, they give you a whole list of colors. I do apologize, just because of my camera setup right now, I can't really get a nice full picture of it. There are a lot of repeat colors in these different packs. There's the Magic Dust, the Space Dust, the Galaxy Dust, and the Aurora Borealis. It looks like the Aurora Borealis is all of the color shifting paints, because it seems like every single one is listed in that one. So my only thing with them is at least for me, I can't think of a whole lot of practical use for these for my models. I can see them being used for a nice cool effect on maybe one or two miniatures, but I can't really see it having a large range of usage, at least for me. You know, I'm sure you guys could probably think of a lot of cool ideas to use them with. The one thing that I have thought of, kind of what inspired me to pick these up, is Eldar BFG ships, because a lot of them, you know, Eldar ships have holofields, and for some reason, whenever I thought about the holofields on those ships, I kind of envisioned like this color shifting effect along their hulls. So I thought maybe these would look really good on the hulls of Eldar spaceships, or maybe just the solar sails. I think that's like the first thing that came to my mind, and I will be painting a bunch of Eldar ships using these, just because like I said, I think it would look really cool. Like I said, I got it for like 20 bucks. Not too terrible. Sometimes if you get lucky at a Hobby Lobby, you might find one that had mispriced it to $15, and if you do, grab it. I wish I did when I saw that one time. And I said, nothing really crazy about them. You just can't use Vallejo thinner with them for some odd reason. They say use water, so I would recommend doing as they suggest and using water on these. And you don't really need to. I only use like 15 psi on my air compressor, and these worked just fine like that. Nice even coating, and it was a nice solid layer. Like, I didn't feel like I was placing down a whole lot of layers of paint just to get it to cover the model. It went on smooth. It was probably one of the smoother applications that I've had in a while with my airbrush. And so, yeah, if any of you guys have used these before, let me know what you think. What do you like? What do you don't like about them? And also, if you want, drop down some ideas for what you think you could use these paints for. I would like to hear your ideas about that. So, thank you all for watching, and until next time, Fearless Gamers, take care.